What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. My name is Bailey Kramer, and this is the REI Cashflow Tribe podcast. Today's episode was truly incredible. I had Jen from Host GPO, which is an incredible company that we talk about in the show. But Jen is also a host herself, which is really cool to hear her perspectives. She's also a design pro. You can just see by the wall in her background. It's so well designed versus mine, just a plain blank wall. But make sure you stay till the end because Jen shares a host GPO service that is completely free that will literally save you thousands of dollars per property. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. Welcome, Jen. How are you doing?
I am doing well. How are you today?
I am doing great. So I'm super excited to have you on. I just give the listeners some context. And I was telling you a little bit about this before, but I've been using Host GPO on and off for a couple of years now. I took a couple of year hiatus, literally for no reason but my own. And
Yeah.
then recently, I was at the Midterm Rental Summit in San Diego, and the CEO of Host GPO, Jeff, was there. He spoke. I got to meet him one on one, and I was honestly blown away with the updates that Host GPO had, and started just diving into it more. And I was like, okay, I'm definitely gonna get back on the bandwagon and start using Host GPO. And then I figured I might as well have you guys on to just share more about your guys' services. And you were telling me some things I didn't even know that you guys do before. So we'll get into all that later.
Yeah.
But I guess to start off, since you're also a host yourself, first just kind of give an intro to you as a person, as an Airbnb host.
Sure.
And then we'll jump into all the host GPO stuff.
Yeah. So I am Jen. I reside in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I actually was a professional photographer for 12 or 13 years, had my own business, decided to jump into the short-term rental game. My husband and I had an investment property and we were long-term renting it and decided to give short-term rental a try. And we went from making 1.5 times our mortgage long-term renting to 6 times our mortgage short-term renting. Because I'm located in Wisconsin and winters here are pretty harsh, we do offer a midterm rental during the winter months. With that being said, I'm also a designer. I absolutely love creating experiences for our members, for our guests, and overall just a really creative person in general.
Cool. That's super awesome. So I guess for those who don't know, like how would you describe host GPO in a nutshell?
Yeah, absolutely. So we basically are a buying group for hosts. So what we do is we take this collective buying power and we negotiate the very best prices with our partners. Most of us here at Host GPO are hosts ourselves. And so we're going to partner with companies that really are tried and true, companies that are going to set our members up for success. With that being said, like I mentioned, you do get the very best prices in the industry. So these are better than trade discounts. We're not going to partner with a company if they're just going to offer us a trade discount because really anybody with an EIN number can get that trade discount typically.
Yeah.
What we want to do is we want to ensure that we have the very best pricing with those discounts. So, with that being said, if you're looking for anything from mattresses, linen, furniture, amenities, we have you covered.
Cool. So just to kind of, and also like just to visualize it for the hosts. So you guys, as a company, Host GPO, have all these discounts with all these different brands that are tried and true for, for could be really. I know some of the brands, are some brands you could have in your home, like West Elm, for example. But some of these brands are also very good for short term because they're super durable, stuff like that. So can you just give a high level brief overview? Obviously, some people are listening to this and can't necessarily see it, but how does the actual process work um, for getting these items through Host GPO?
Yeah, it's super simple. You basically log into our portal. If you do not have a membership currently, you can go ahead and sign up for a 3-month free membership. That's really important to us. We want you to get in and really just see what we're all about. Connect with our representatives at Host GPO, have them walk you through the portal. Once you have the membership, you can go ahead and log in. You can take a look at all of our different partnerships. You can click on those partnerships and you can literally follow along on how to place that order and then also what that overall discount is as well.
Cool. Love it. Do you think, because I was telling you before this, that I do short term rentals and I also do midterm rentals. I kind of do the hybrid strategy like you. Would you say there's a big difference in, I guess, design and like approach overall to kind of like the furnishing the design piece? Would you say there's a big difference?
I do think there's
Incentive.
a difference for sure. I think when you're furnishing a midterm rental, when you're designing a midterm rental, you really need to think about your guest. How long is your guest staying with you? It's not just a few nights. So you really want to ensure that you're creating this amazing experience for them for 30 plus days, right? So with that being said, you want to ensure that you have a fully stocked kitchen. You want to ensure that you have a decent number of linens. Do you have replacements? Are you thinking about like your furniture pieces? Of course, you always want like quality pieces of furniture within a short term rental if you can do contract grade if possible. But with a midterm rental, you want to think about the overall experience that that guest is going to have at your property. So, how is your furniture laid out? Is it conducive to sitting around in the evening and watching TV versus just like having guests over for a weekend?
Totally, totally. And I guess for you, when you're designing these, do you have a certain rule of thumb? Because I'll tell you what I tell people because I found it for my own properties. Now I sometimes go the cheap route and I kind of keep balance things. So I usually stick at roughly $10, maybe 12. I'm getting crazy per square foot. Is that what you're seeing? Because I know you mentioned you're at one of your Airbnbs now. You guys can just tell your wall looks really nice. My wall is completely plain. This is my house and it's an apartment, whatever.
Yeah.
But you're the pro here. What do you recommend price wise?
Yeah, I think that's really important. I mean, I think that you have to think about what your tier is, like what are you tiering yourself at? Are you a luxury property? Are you a good quality mid-range property, or are you a budget-friendly property?
Yeah.
I typically like to go in at about $15 a square foot. And the
Okay.
reason why I do that is because the partnerships that we have through Host GPO, they sell quality pieces of furniture that's going to withstand the wear and tear of a rental. Some of those companies you're going to recognize, like Pottery Barn, West Elm, Crate and Barrel, Article. If you are purchasing from those companies, typically you're around $15 a square foot. Now, not saying that you can't throw in some things that are purchased locally, purchased from Amazon or Wayfair. There's a time and a place for those pieces. Could you do it for $10 square foot? Absolutely, you could. I do think there's going to be a little bit more sourcing on the members end when it comes to finding that piece at that price point. But I think overall, mid range, typically like to say 15. If you're going luxury, you're looking at 20 to 25.
Got it. Okay. Totally fair.
I'm
I'd
not
say
super budget friendly though.
you're right, right. Yeah. The first Airbnb that I ever did, I don't know what it was dollars per square foot, but it was definitely lower than 10. It had to be at least like probably around 5 because we got free couches on Facebook. It was terrible, and I
Yeah.
don't recommend it at all. It was it was a disaster.
Yeah. And
Budget
I
one.
I mean, I've designed so many short-term rentals. And when I first started, I was doing this on my own and I would try to get like the best look for the lowest price.
Yeah,
And at the end of the day, what I found out was that I was wasting so much of my time literally trying to find that best deal. And not everyone has that time or that energy. And so you really just have to think about how important is your time when you are actually designing a rental.
totally, totally. So for host GPO and specifically for midterm, and again, the short term kind of overlaps too, at least for my business, because
Yeah.
sometimes I do short term, I do a hybrid strategy. Some I kind of throw it around. But I know you're saying before that host GPO has certain things like the host boxes, for example, that help streamline the process overall. If you can just give kind of a glimpse into what that all entails.
No, that's a really great question. So we really want to make it as easy as possible for homeowners to set up a property. With that being said, not only do we want to make the process really easy, but we also want to take all of the guessing work out of placing orders. So we have exclusive partnerships with companies like Standard Textile. Standard Textile is a hospitality textile company, highly recommended if you're not currently using it. These products are going to really withstand all of the washing and the wear that you're putting them through. When I first started, I had no idea there was anything such as hospitality grade textile. So and I learned the hard way. But what we've done is we've put together these bath boxes and these bed boxes. And if you hop onto our website, it's super easy. You click on this textile or you click on our host boxes, and you can literally go in and put down How many bedrooms does your property have? How many people does it sleep? And then for the bath box, it would be how many bathrooms do you have? How many people is it sleeping? And we will calculate exactly what it is that you need for that tier. So we have 3 different tiers to choose from. Again, that really just takes the guessing work out of it because when you're looking at the standard textile catalog, it can be incredibly overwhelming because they offer a lot. So we've kind of categorized everything for you. So with the bed box, you literally are going to, everything is going to drop into your cart, everything that you need for those beds, whether it is the pillow inserts, the pillow cases, the sheet sets, 3-par sheet sets, which is really important as well. You want to have 3 sets because you always want to have a backup as well in case something were to happen to them. Your mattress protectors, everything for each of those beds is going to fall into your cart. But the real cool thing about it too is that you can customize it as well. So if you know, I love these pillows, I get them, from another vendor, you can take those pillows out. Or if you're like, I like to add a few more, just keep some things in the closet for the guests, especially with a midterm rental. That's another thing. Again, you want to ensure that you're providing these pieces for them. You can go ahead and add those if you wanted to.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And well, a couple things sparked my mind. The first thing is that these host boxes, when again, after listening to Jeff at the midterm rental
Yeah.
summit, the host boxes really impressed me because I have a really organized list on Amazon. I have one on Walmart too, where like in one click, I can get all the stuff I need for my properties. But after hosting for a while, I've had to replace a lot of things very frequently because after very few uses, the towels start getting gross, the sheets, all that stuff. So I really like the host boxes just because it makes it easy and fast, and the quality is a lot better than what I'm getting from like Walmart. So I'm
No,
excited to see
yeah,
the
sure.
quality.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's really important too. I mean, you want to streamline your systems. You want to ensure that you're purchasing an item that A is quality, B is going to last, but also is going to be there when you need to do any type of replacements. That's inevitable. When you think about your sheet sets, I personally purchase from Standard Textile because I know they're always going to carry that same collection.
got it,
So when you have to buy replacements, I'm not buying sets because I may not need flat sheets. I may only need, fitted sheets.
got
You
it.
can buy everything separately. You can buy it in case packs as well if you have a larger portfolio. But also, you can always add to those to ensure that you're still getting the same sheet collection over and over, which is really important.
Got it. Okay, so this might be a well, I always say no stupid questions, but this might be a stupid question. Is there a time frame that you expect a like, it's really towels and sheets are my biggest things. Like, I'll use a towel as an example. Is there a certain time frame where let's just say you get a property together and you're like, "All right, I just bought these towels. They're brand new. I know I'm gonna need to replace them in how much time?" Do you have any sort of estimate on that for
Yeah,
your
I mean,
properties?
I think it's hard. I think it depends on who your target guest is. Are you renting to a younger crowd? Maybe, if you're short-term rental, are you doing bachelorette parties? You're probably going to need to replace them a little bit sooner than if you're
Yeah.
just doing families or remote workers.
Okay.
Also, do you have white or do you have colored? Because that's going to make a huge difference as well. I'm a huge fan of white, even in midterm rentals. I know a lot of people with midterm rentals like to do a color, but a lot of guests use some type of peroxide in their facial ointments. And so a lot of times those will stain anything that's colored.
Mm,
And there's nothing you can do about it. Whereas with white, if it gets a stain on it, you can always use a little bit of a bleach solution or a peroxide solution and you can get that stain out. I
mhm,
also think that white just lasts a lot longer and it looks a little bit more like elevated spa like. But, again, I think it also depends on what tier are you buying at? Are you buying a towel that's just like your basic towel, or are you actually spending a little bit more and buying, a higher end towel? With that being said, I think that your towels, eh, again, I think they should be lasting at least a year. I mean, and that's just like kind of a guess on my end.
yeah,
We always have like onesie twosies where like we get a stain and we just pull that one out and just put another one in place of
yeah.
it. But I think, um, I mean, I have some of the same towels that I've been using for 2.5 years, and they're
Oh,
totally fine. So,
got it. Okay, cool. Very cool.
I don't know if that really answered your question,
Well,
but
yeah, it does because, like, I don't know. I mean, obviously, it's gonna depend on the guest. Like, that's that makes sense. I've had I buy honestly really cheap towels, so I kinda have to replace them. I don't even know how often I replace them. Definitely not more than every 6 I mean, and also too, like, I don't replace all of them at once. It's usually like, okay, 2 of them are disgusting, the other 2 are fine kinda thing.
yeah.
Same thing with, like, the blanket. Oh, speaking of blanket, this is another question. This is like a these are like common classic, like, questions I get, and I have. Duvets versus just like a normal comforter.
Yeah.
I've been hosting for years. I still don't even know which one I prefer. My cleaners kind of prefer different things,
Yep.
and then every time we get time to replace a blanket, we're like, okay, should we now order a duvet? I don't know. What's your take on that?
Ooh, I feel like this is a heated question. I feel like everyone's gonna
Yeah.
have a different answer. I don't think that there's a right or wrong answer. I think it really depends on A, your property, and B, your turnover team. Because like you said, your cleaners are going to have some feedback on that.
Yeah.
With that being said, you didn't mention triple sheeting. Do you triple sheet? Or do you know what triple sheeting is?
I order 3 sheets if that's what you're asking, but I don't know. I don't know what triple
Well,
sheet
a good
is.
guess and kind of right, yeah. So I'm a huge fan of triple sheeting. The reason why I like triple sheeting is because, well, okay, let me take a step back. I think triple sheeting is really good for a short-term rental. I do not think that it is conducive to a midterm rental. Triple sheeting really is exactly what it says. So typically, if you're staying at any, a lot of hotels do this, even high-end hotels. So what
Okay.
they do is they take a larger flat sheet and they put it over the mattress. I typically like doing a fitted sheet still because with a short term rental, you're not going in there every day and remaking the bed for them.
Right.
But then what you do is you take a flat sheet and you lay it down over the sheet that's over the mattress.
Okay.
Then you take a duvet insert. So that duvet insert lays on top of it. You take another flat sheet and you lay it over and you roll the top. You roll it down twice. So it kind of like sandwiches that duvet insert and then you tuck everything in. It looks super clean. It looks very professional. Again, it's another heated debate. Do you wash that duvet insert every single
Oh,
time
yeah.
or do you only wash the flat sheet? My guess is most people are just washing the flat sheet. But again, this really looks like elevated. But when it comes to quilts versus duvet covers, I love the look of a duvet. I absolutely do not like making a bed if I'm having to wash that duvet cover every single time. I'm a huge
Right.
proponent of washing all of the bedding. I think that I want to sleep on a fully clean bed, so I know my guests would want to. So I actually use a thicker quilt for my beds in my short-term rental.
Cool. That's good to know. Because yeah, that's another hot debate. It's like duvet versus not duvet. It's like how often do you wash it?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah,
and I think, again, it really just depends on, like, that turnover team. Again, love the look of a duvet, but I have not mastered, stuffing a duvet effortlessly. I'm sure some people have, but I know my cleaners also have not, and they would prefer not to use them.
yeah,
So, we either do, like I said, triple sheeting or a quilt.
got it. Okay, cool. Another question is so I want to talk about amenities for midterm
Yeah.
rental specifically. I recently, somewhat recently, furnished a new midterm rental, and I just had a guest on a short term basis. They came, they checked out, and I was reading the review. Luckily, it was a 5-star review. But they mentioned that they really liked this heated blanket that I had, and I
Oh,
completely accidentally ordered a heated blanket. I had no intention. It's like one of the ones that you have to like plug in.
yeah.
I mean, it's kind of weird, but it got me thinking. Well, I completely accidentally ordered it. It's not something I normally order. When I was setting it up, I was almost like, "This is kind of weird. I'm just gonna take it." But this person really liked it, so I was like, "All right, that's kind of cool." That was kind of a random one. I don't know if I got lucky with it. Maybe it's kind of a colder climate in Indiana, so I kind of get it. But as far as amenities or the kind of those random items that you found maybe your guests like, anything come to mind there?
Yeah, so, I don't do heated blankets, only because I think it's maybe like a safety hazard? I
Yeah,
don't know. I
I
also
agree.
heated blankets since I was a really young kid, so maybe they, like, have automatic shut off. I don't know, like, maybe they turn off by themselves. I don't know. But I like I mean, it makes sense. I like the idea of that.
Mm,
Because I'm in Wisconsin too, so it's also a cold climate. So
yeah.
some of the things that we do here is, we do have throws, like, on our sofa, and then we have, like, these faux fur throws from Pottery Barn on the beds.
Mm,
Our guests rave about these faux fur throws. They're a little bit heavier, but you can easily wash them, which is really important. And that's another thing too. If you have any type of like throws, make sure that it's machine washable. Make sure that you have a backup. Because I wash those every single time as well. I think that's really important. But these faux fur throws are really, really popular.
And then again, faux fur
Roper
throw.
Pros, yeah. They're really popular. So, again, I'm kind of shocked at how many of our guests rave about these faux fur throws, and it just because I think too, it's so heavy, it's kind of like a weighted blanket
Yeah.
almost, but it's also just, like, super cozy and warm, and I just don't think they expect it at a rental, because I think a lot of times that's something that somebody just kinda, like, purchases, last minute, it's really cheap, it's just there because they need to have something there.
Yeah.
Um we also have, um, like in the kitchen, for instance, we have a bunch of spices, things that is just going to make their stay a little bit easier. I think about even things like having olive oil and ensuring that we always keep like some treats out as well that are kind of local to the area too. I'm looking around right now, like, what else do we do for
Yeah.
amenities? Oh, we do have, so in the summer months, we have this really great, um, ice cream shop near our rental.
What's it called?
It's called Joy Social Ice Cream.
Okay,
They
I've never
just
heard of it.
they just opened last year.
Got
So,
it.
and it's amazing. Like, it's done to perfection, like, aesthetic wise. It's super cute. It's within walking distance. And so they sell these really cute little tokens. And so, in the summer, we'll leave tokens as well for our guests to use so they can go get a free scoop of ice cream.
Got it. Got it.
It's
That's
just more
that's that's really cool.
experience.
Yeah. So one of the things with my properties that it just kind of like, oh, I don't know, like an internal debate. Well, not really a debate, just something I got to do, I guess. Like my properties in my market in Indiana, they're definitely on the higher end of the market. I mean, it's not a high end market at all. So my properties aren't like a luxury, but they're
Oh,
definitely one of like the nicer properties,
sure.
especially for like travel nurses, for example. I definitely don't do a great job with, like, the olive oils, the spices, like, I think that's something easy. I guess real quick on that, is there a certain place you get that from?
So I'm all about I buy them locally. I just go to like the grocery store. Although I do love a good piece that's branded. So like for my olive oil, I get an olive oil that I really like that's just like I like the branded bottle of it, but no, it's nothing, I think I
Okay,
get it from Whole Foods.
got it.
Most of my spices are they're they're just typical spices, but they're there for our guests to use if they're making something. I think that's just really important to have, and it's the thing is it's not a really big investment, right? We also have a little basket in our linen closet of just items like, hey, in case you forgot this, there's some items in there that just like, typical items that, people like we put like little individual toothbrushes, some toothpaste, just things like that. Like, hey, if you forgot this, here it's on us type of a thing.
Right.
Which is really great as well. And people have commented, and I know that they use it because I'm always restocking it.
Right, that's funny.
Yeah.
So that's good. Like, so, yeah, the thing that you're mentioning, I feel like, number 1, I need to do, I've just been lazy, like, I need to make the experience a little bit better. I've had great reviews, like,
Huh.
I've only honestly had good feedback, but I know I could do better, and I definitely charge well, this is, like, the other thing that I wanna ask you, and this isn't necessarily a host GPO question, but you're also a host, so,
Yeah.
as far as, like I'm trying to charge a premium price, and
Yeah.
I believe right now, even without my salts and peppers and, like, the olive oil, my place is better than every other place in my market. I'm not saying this in a cocky way, but I know that I
Yeah.
respond faster than every other host. I'm gonna get issues fixed, like, I'm here to help these guests, and I
Yeah.
know just from I mean, I've done some what do they call, like, blind shopping where you kinda
Sure,
inquire with
absolutely.
other people. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So, I'm confident that these people are gonna have a better stay with me, and I'm gonna add the stuff that we're talking about. But how do you have any tips on marketing your property besides, like, the pictures? Obviously, pictures are great, like, design. I know we're gonna talk more about that too, and pictures. But, like, how do I don't know how to, like, communicate in my listing that again, people are paying the money I'm asking, but I wanna just have it be such a no-brainer kinda thing.
Yeah. Do you reply to all of your reviews?
Yes, on Airbnb I do, but I'm really mainly talking about Furnish Finder.
Okay.
Uh 'Cause yeah, like a lot of my, I'm thinking about one specific property I have, it's a triplex. That one's really geared towards these travel nurses, and that one in particular, like, I have washer, dryer unit, everything's brand new in there. It's
Yeah.
just the compared to the competition, but there's a good amount of listings in there, and it's kinda crazy, not a lot of people have professional photos, I obviously do.
Yeah.
Like, I do, like, the basic things, but I don't know
Yeah.
if there's any way that you I don't know, to stand out.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think yes, having professional photos is an absolute must, but also ensuring that those photos are staged properly. I think that's a really important one too. I think a lot of times when um, homeowners hire a professional photographer, they kind of have an idea in their mind of what they want, and they just kind of assume that there's just this one style for, interior photography for rentals, when in reality, like, there's not. Like, there are so many different styles, and I
Right.
think that there's a few things I wanna add to this. Number 1, you have to have consistency. So, if you've hired a professional photographer to come in and photograph your space, you wanna be consistent with how all of the photographs look. So, for instance, if the lights are off in the room and they photograph that, but then they move it to another room and they turn the lights on, that's not consistent. Those pictures are gonna look completely different, and it's gonna throw off the visual pleasure of looking at those photos.
Yeah.
So, you want to ensure that you have consistency. Number 2, you want to ensure that you know what that style is before you ever hire that photographer. So, take a look at their work and ask them for their portfolio. Ask them, if you can take a look at a few galleries. Um, and if you love what you see, then definitely go ahead and move forward with them. But then also ensure that when they're photographing, that you are there when they're photographing. Are there cords that are hanging out? Do you offer something like, do you offer sound machines in the bedrooms? Like, that's really important, especially if you're doing a midterm rental. You know, can you see that sound machine in the photograph? Is it there? Because you can definitely talk about it in your listing, but also I think it's really important just to have those photographs as well. So, just to ensure that you're getting everything photographed the way that you envision it and the way that you want your potential guests to see it.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point because I do all my properties remotely, so I'm never there for the photos, but I really should have my cleaner
Yes.
there at least because she's really on top of those things. Like, I had a photographer come recently. Well, I've been hiring the same company, and the company has a couple different photographers, and I have the option to pick which one I wanna use, but I just first available, I'll just do that one. And I've had one specific one that's been great. He's
Yeah.
taken extra time to turn the TV on, put some cool background on, like, I think it looks really nice. Then I've had other ones recently where they called me after, they're like, "Hey, did you want me to do exterior?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like, why wouldn't you do photos?"
Yeah.
To me, it was a no-brainer, but to him, he was like, "I didn't know you wanted exterior photos." I'm like, "This is a" I put in the thing, it's for an Airbnb, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, those are good points. I think definitely having someone there would help a lot as well.
I also think too, depending on where your property is located, if you have 4 seasons, you want to ensure that you are providing photographs for all of those seasons,
Yeah.
especially if, like, you have an outdoor space, maybe you have, like, a fire pit and you have this, like, really great outdoor area. It's
Yeah.
not gonna look the same in the winter months. So what does it look like in the winter months, and what is unique about your property in those winter months that you could sell? You know what I mean? I also think too, if you start working with the same photographer, they're going to understand what it is that you're requesting and what you're
Yeah.
requiring. And so eventually, like those shoots are going to get a lot easier too, because you're not going to have to be there kind of following them around.
Yeah, totally. Do you do 3D tours of your properties, like the walkthrough tours?
I don't. I think that it's something that's going to probably start. I think that properties are going to move into that for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's a great feature in all honesty. That would be another really great thing, especially if you feel like your property could benefit from that. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, because that's something where I feel like it's kind of a no-brainer. Like for like Airbnb, for example, I'm like surprised that they haven't made that a thing because I think like why shouldn't I get it's just such like a seems easy enough and it seems like it would give a way better idea of the property. And like again on Furnish Finder,
Yeah.
it's such an easy thing that nobody is doing, including me. But my only fear with it is I'm just afraid that it's not gonna come out the quality isn't gonna be what I want with, like, the lighting kinda stuff you mentioned,
Yeah.
and then it's gonna turn people away. So I think it might be good I might do, like, a test with one of my units
Yeah.
to see how people respond, and then if people are like, "Oh, this is amazing." 'Cause I don't know, I think having that full a lot of these travel nurses that I'm hosting too, they're coming they this, like, the first time in the area, they've never been here. A lot of times, like, single females,
Yeah.
they wanna just know that they're gonna be taken care of. So I feel like that would give more transparency into the whole thing,
Totally. Yeah.
but it also gets me a little bit nervous because it's like they literally see every inch of the place, which I have nothing to hide, but it's like, I don't know, I'd rather you can gotta control the shot a little bit better with photos.
Sure. No, absolutely. And I think it's important to have both for sure.
Yeah.
I also think that having the tour would actually hold a lot of these owners more accountable. So I think
Mhm.
that would be really great. But I
Yeah.
want to take a step back. You mentioned that, a lot of your target guests are these traveling nurses, single females.
Yeah.
Do you ever talk about the things that you've implemented for safety for your property? Because that would be another great selling point, just talking about like, I don't know, like as far as having, exterior lights, anything that you can talk about that would kind of focus on like the safety of your property as well.
Yeah. That's a really good point. I don't talk about that, and I probably should because I do have good exterior lights,
Yeah.
got good motion censored
Yeah.
ones.
I think that's really important.
Yeah, I feel like the reason why I haven't talked about it, or part of the reason, I almost feel like talking about I don't know, I feel weird talking about safety because like, it is a safe area, 100%, like, people have loved the area, but at the same time, I just feel, maybe it's my head, that, like, I don't really know what the I
Like
don't
if
really know
you
how
talk about it, they're going to think, is there something wrong with this property?
exactly, like,
Yeah.
I'm going out of my way to let you know that it's safe, and it's like, why is he talking about that? That's
You have
exactly
to
it.
use the word safe though. I think you can like word it so you
Right.
can ensure that it's all about the experience and the
Totally, yeah,
convenience for your guests.
totally. I like that a lot. I like that a lot, that's good. 'Cause, yeah, we do have one guest actually, and this is yeah, this kinda goes to your point. She said, "Hey, yeah, what do I rent your property?" And this one person asked so many questions, like, more than I've ever had in my entire life. It was whatever.
Yeah.
But she said, "How many locks do you have on the front door?" I was like, "We have 2, a deadbolt and a one with the knob." And she's like, "Is there any way we can add" and this was before she even came. She's like, "Is there any way we can add one of those, like, hotel locks where you slide them in?" I was like, "Sure, why not?" But I guess, because for her, it was safety, she's on the first floor, facing the
Uh,
street, so I understood where she was coming from, and it was like 15 bucks. I was like, "Totally get it." So I think highlighting those things would
Yeah.
I I think it would, like I think that's kind of partially answers what I was talking about to get these people to know too that I understand them specifically. Like I'm
Yeah.
speaking to them because
Yeah.
my listing does say travel nurse and traveling professional stuff like that, but so does everyone else. Because
Yeah.
everyone knows who's coming on these sites, and
Right.
I think
Absolutely.
having those things that's
Yeah.
really good.
I think another thing too, speaking of amenities, I've been like thinking about this as we've been chatting. if your target guest is a remote worker, for instance, or just anybody who travels in general, and if you have like a desk area set up for them to work at, um, I always recommend having a monitor there. Monitor is not going to be a very big investment, but if you are traveling and you work, remotely, having that extra monitor and those like hookup cables, it's going to be like a huge lifesaver. And right there, that's a reason to rent your property over, some of your competition as well.
Right.
But I also thinking about where that workspace is located within your property. Is it in like the living area? Because if it is, chances are, if you're a family friendly property and they're, traveling with their family, they're likely not going to rent it because they can't get away from their family,
Right.
right?
Right.
Like they need a little bit of privacy. So again, thinking about, you know, creative ways where you can create these workstations, but also make it so that they're somewhat private as well.
Totally. Yep. That makes a lot of sense. It's something I have not done either. I have a couple I mean, I have a desk here and there, but it's not that experienced. I definitely don't have monitors. I don't personally use a monitor, so I
See,
don't
I
really.
do. I
Well,
I work from a laptop, but I always use another monitor, an external monitor. And when we're traveling, I don't take that monitor with, but I would like
yeah,
love it if some of these places that we went to actually had it.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
So is this like, yeah, I try to think if I've even used a monitor before. I don't think I have. Is it just like another like a stand-up computer that just has the screen? Is that what we're talking about here?
So it's just a monitor. You just purchase
Yeah.
like an external monitor,
Yeah.
um, which looks like a small TV in all honesty.
Right, right.
Or you can just set it at the desk, and then there are, like, the adapter cord,
Got it.
and I would just make sure that you have, like, a multi-adapter cord, or you can even put in your listing that you have this, so if, like, I would bring my adapter cord, for instance,
Got
so
it.
I plug it into my laptop.
Got it. What does like a monitor run on average? Like I don't even know.
I mean, they're super cheap. I think you can get one for under $100 today.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right, very good. Very good. That there's a lot of things I gotta implement. I wanna talk about though the post GPO design program that we are talking about. That
Yeah.
was actually when you mentioned it before, that's what I got really excited about. And then I asked you a million questions because I'm man, the design stuff is something that again, you can see my walls. I'm not a design guy. But yeah, if you can kind of just give us some insight. We talked about just to kind of recap so far, like host GPO, get great discounts, makes it super easy to order the things that you need in like we talked about the host boxes, for example. And then this design piece, I feel like is like another like holy moly feature.
Yeah.
So if you can go into that, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So we created this design program for our members. It's a free service. It's an amazing opportunity for our members to work with an interior designer for absolutely free. Number one, that's already saving you a few $1,000s right there. The reason why we did this was because we definitely understand that the days of grabbing some furniture, putting it into a property and listing it, those are over. The competition is fierce. Design plays a huge role in your overall ROI. It also is really all about that guest experience today. And so, because we partner with these amazing vendors or retailers, what we do is anybody who's looking to go through this design program, they meet with me and we talk about their overall project. What is it that you're looking at? What kind of tier are you at? We ask them like a series of questions. Once we have all of that information, what our team will do is we will source all of their furniture pieces through our partnerships. And then we provide our member with a mood board and then also a spreadsheet of all of the items that we're recommending for their property. Once they receive that design presentation, then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we will provide 3 rounds of revisions until they've finalized their design. It doesn't stop there though, because as we all know, setting up a property is super time consuming. I
Sure.
don't think people realize how much time it takes to place orders, to track orders, to schedule deliveries. And so really we're very service based at Host GPO. And so what we're going to do is we're going to help you if you want the help. Some members are very hands-on and they want to do this themselves.
Yeah.
But if you want us to, we will go ahead, we will invoice you for all of the items, which makes it super streamlined and convenient. You can go ahead and submit payment for that invoice, and then we'll go ahead and we will place all of your orders on the back end. In
Wow.
addition to that, what we'll do is we'll also track your orders as well, which is really important. So oftentimes, items will slip into back order status, or maybe they're just no longer available anymore. So then what our team will do is we will go ahead and we will recommend replacements for those items, which again is a huge time commitment for somebody to pop in and find those items and then, do all of the communication with the vendors. The really cool thing about this too is that because we have these amazing partnerships, we have teams that work with these retailers that just work with the host GPO account. And
Right.
so the thing that's really great is say, you have an item that has slipped into back order status, or maybe for some reason it's lost now in logistics. We have access to our team that can look into that immediately versus you calling up customer service and trying to figure out where that item is. Chances are you're probably not going to speak to the right person. It's going to take you a little bit longer. So, again, we are just trying to make this process as easy as possible for our members.
Yeah, see, that's incredible. I don't know. Yeah, I think if people who have, I think people who've set up properties for ordered furniture, I think if those people listening totally understand how crazy that is,
Yeah.
of all these you guys are doing, and you're saving us money, and it's like the whole service is free. That's crazy. For those who don't have properties and are brand new to the Airbnb world or midterm rental world, I don't mean if I heard that when I didn't have any properties, I probably wouldn't really understand how crazy that is, but having done a lot of properties, that's really awesome. So I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah.
How long does that process take?
Yeah. So we require a minimum of a 7-week lead time. Um, I think a lot of times when people hear 7 weeks, they're like, gosh, that's a really long time. That's almost 2 months. But when you are placing furniture orders, sometimes those items, even if they're in stock and ready to ship, sometimes they take at least 5 weeks to deliver. Because logistics are crazy. They're going to come from one warehouse, they're shipping to another warehouse, and then they're going to your delivery center. So we do a minimum of 7 weeks. Ideally, it's anywhere from 8 to 12 weeks
Okay.
that we like for the lead time. In addition to that, a lot of homeowners or property managers, typically homeowners, are not located in the same area of their rental home.
Right.
So there are some other options that we can provide for them as well. So we do have a really great partnership with the Williams Sonoma brands.
Okay.
Williams Sonoma owns Pottery Barn, Rejuvenation, West Elm, PBK, PB Teen. What we can do is we can go ahead and have their design team design as well if you're looking to consolidate your order. So,
Yeah.
say you're not located in the city or even near the city that your home is located in, we can go ahead and place the majority of your items through all of their brands. And then those items are going to be shipped to a warehouse. They're going to hold those items for you until you're ready for delivery. So that's another really, really great option as well. It's just, again, going to streamline that process. You don't have those UPS items just trickling in whenever they're available. And then you're trying to figure out how am I going to get them back to the property?
Yeah.
Everything's just going to arrive at once. And then we go ahead and we track all of those items for you as well to ensure that everything's available for your delivery.
Got it. Okay, cool. Yeah, 8 to 12 weeks. I think and I've heard this more and more, especially again for people who have or are more new. That seems like a long period of time. And for me, it is a long period of time because I'm typically going at like depending on the property, depending on whatever, like
Yeah.
I can get a property up in a week, like truthfully. But the big disclaimer here and the things I've already mentioned, like I've had a couch already break that needs to be replaced. I've had it for less than a year. Like I'm not like
Yep.
I'm making all like the rookie mistakes of not doing things properly. So that couch is gonna cost me probably I'm gonna have to replace it. It's probably gonna be another like $1,500, let's just say, roughly. And my mortgage for the property is $500 per month, give or take.
Yeah.
So if I just did it right, and this is one example with a couch. If I just spend a little bit more time, it's gonna be the same thing at the end of the day. I
Yeah.
think a lot of hosts when they buy a property, they outlay a bunch of money for the down payment, they start to say, "Oh my god, I need to get some money coming in like
Yeah,
ASAP,"
totally.
which I totally understand, and that is the reason why I have gone the route of just going the best looking stuff that's the cheapest, but I see the like, it comes down to dollars and cents, and it takes a little bit of, like, long-term vision too. That's the other thing is I've seen a lot of hosts don't have a long-term, like, mindset for their property. It's like, "I need this property to perform today or else I'm selling it." And it's like, okay,
Yeah.
that's not really what real estate's about, at least in my opinion. So I can appreciate now, like, it's like wine, like, every wine tastes the same to me. I'm sure at some point I'll tell the difference between a $50 glass and a $10,
Yeah.
whatever, but I think it's kinda similar where I didn't understand the time frame, but now it makes a lot more sense. I
Yeah.
love that you've seen that too.
Yeah, and I think too, you have to think about as well, number one, quality pieces of furniture, contract grade. I always say recommend, quality contract grade furniture for those high wear items, your dining table, your dining chairs, your coffee table, your sofa. A lot of times sofa is not going to be a contract grade, but make sure that it's a performance fabric. That's really important. I also made that mistake starting off. I mean, I purchased a really great sofa. It wasn't cheap by any means, but it wasn't performance grade, but I loved the color. And guess what? Now I'm replacing it because the fabric just didn't hold up to all of the wear of a short-term rental. But I also think too, you have to think about, are you really good at design? Yeah, you can set up a house within a week. That's great. But not everybody is good at design. And so are you going to get the most ROI because property up and running, 4 weeks ahead of schedule? Or are you gonna make the most ROI because you did it right, you purchased quality pieces, and you had a designer help you so you can stand out from your competition?
Totally. Yeah, I for sure would have made more money if I just did it more properly. But I think again, like when you have an inquiry come in, you're like, "Oh my god, I could just book this thing out right now. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
get it ready."
Yeah.
It's tempting, but no, I totally my next project, I'm pledging to do this thing right.
Yes, let's
Fully
collaborate, let's get together, I can help you.
yeah, 100%, 100%. That's awesome. Is there, I wanna ask you another kinda like I guess, 2 debatable things. The first of all, the mattress. Now, just for context here, I've been ordering, like, I think it's like the Zenus mattress, and everyone's like, "Whatever." Then at the Midterm Rental Summit, the host GPO team that was there, they were talking about this really awesome mattress that you guys have exclusivity to, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And to me, again, this is another thing where it's like I cheap out on the mattress. Well, actually, I thought I was cheaping out until I realized that it's actually a very similar price to the one that you guys have that's better quality. But I've had guests compliment my mattress that's supposed to be like this cheap, crappy mattress that people don't recommend. So I guess any words of wisdom when it comes to mattresses?
I think mattresses are extremely important decision when you have a midterm rental. Remember, your guests are sleeping at your property for 30 plus days. They want a good night's rest. We have a partnership with Helix. Helix, just for those of you that don't know, Helix mattresses are the one rated mattress company of 2023. So that's already huge right there. We have a partnership with Helix Sleep, and they have these amazing luxe mattresses. We get a 50% discount with them, which is a huge discount. What we also have is we have access to this Helix Hospitality mattress. Those are the mattresses that Jeff was talking about. And I believe that they actually had some there during they had like a
Raffle?
they had a raffle, but then they also had like this like people were making beds and they were trying like it was like a
Oh, that was at I think it was a different I saw that video. I think
oh,
that was at a different
okay,
one.
okay. So they definitely probably raffled some off. So the Helix Hospitality mattress is an amazing mattress. I'm telling you right now, you're not going to find another mattress of this quality at this price point. So just to give you an idea, it's a hybrid mattress. The Queen mattress retails for $10.99. Our members get it for $3.75, free shipping. It arrives within 5 to 15 business days. It comes with a 10-year warranty. It's an amazing mattress. It's a hybrid mattress, so it's not going to be all memory foam. The thing with memory foam is for the first, year or so, it's going to be a great mattress, but over time, it's going to start breaking down. And that is when you are going to have to start replacing your mattresses.
Right.
Whereas with the Helix Hospitality mattress, that's not the case. It's actually a hybrid mattress. Also, you don't have to buy a box spring with it as well because it's hybrid. And most bed frames that you're purchasing today are going to be hybrid compatible as well. So you're
Got it.
saving a little bit money there too. So hands down, check out the Helix Hospitality mattress. I personally own one of these mattresses in my primary home. Very comfortable. It's a medium firm mattress. But basically, the main difference with this mattress and like the Lux mattresses is it's going to be a few inches shorter, but they've also taken away a lot of the branding on it. So it's just going to make it a lot more affordable for them to manufacture.
Got it. Makes sense. Yeah, I definitely wanna try that out too. Like, I'm telling you, next property that I do, which I'm on the hunt for. I wanna do this one right. I wanna get the right mattress in there. I
Yeah.
wanna get the good design in.
Yeah.
I wanna do the whole thing. So I'm excited for it.
Think about it too, a lot of people don't, even if somebody isn't aware of who Helix Sleep is,
Mhm.
what you can do in your listing is you can write that you have Helix mattresses. And then in parentheses, you can write Helix is the top rated mattress company of last year.
Right.
I mean, that right there is going to tell them that they're going to get a good night's rest. It's also going to tell them that you actually care about their experience.
Right. Yeah, that see, that's another thing that's problem. Like, that's one of the things that I was trying to get clarity on of how I can let my guests know that my property's premium. Now, I guess my property isn't I mean, my property isn't as premium as I think it is, right? Like, I know it's not, like a five-star resort by any means, yeah, but things like having that mattress,
Yeah.
that is just that's like a no-brainer of walking the walk of, "Hey, I do have a top property. This is why I charge this much." And then having those things, that makes a lot of sense. Because right now, I'm kind of just I'm just I guess I'm more just objective because it's my property.
Yeah.
Although I do have some data to back it up, but, that makes a lot of sense. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Is there anything else? I know we're almost at time here. Anything else post GPO related, design related that we didn't talk about? I know we talked about a lot of different things, but any other last big items, things you wanna throw out?
Yeah. I mean, I think that there's definitely items that I feel that it's just a no-brainer that to purchase them from Host GPO. Mattresses, number 1.
Yes.
We also have a really great, amenity line that we recently, designed with Diversified Hospitality, and it's called, Signature Amenities Collection. And so this is your shampoo, your conditioner, your body wash. There's a few reasons why I love this product so much. Number 1 is it's very aesthetically pleasing. As a designer myself, I love to purchase beautifully branded items. Number 2, it's super affordable. I mean, you guys, this is so incredibly affordable. Um, we sell individual bottles that you can refill. We also have like the small one-time use bottles. We have like this little case pack that you can purchase that's really affordable.
It's like the
Um,
hotel looking one, like
yeah,
small.
yeah. So, definitely take a look at that. It's also very eco-friendly as well, which I think is really important, and there's free shipping on it. So, again, the reason why we designed this was we wanted something that our members were asking or well, let me back up. Our members were asking for something, and so we went ahead and we designed this product, and again, our main focus was making sure that it was an excellent product, that it was affordable, and then it was also eco-friendly as well.
Cool.
Also the scent of it really just reminds me of staying at like a high-end boutique hotel.
Yeah.
And our marketing team designed all of that. They did an absolutely amazing job on it. Another thing that I want to recommend to just one of, I mean, just as a designer, one of my favorite partners is um, Nearly Naturals. A lot of people, I think about like the furnishings, but they don't think about like really pulling all of the accessories together to ensure that your property is photographing the at its best possible way. With that being said, Nearly Naturals, they sell faux botanicals, they sell fake plants. And
Alright.
so I love them because I do not have a green thumb, but I love greenery.
Yeah.
And so I typically in the past always purchased my greenery from Pottery Barn because they had just the best that you could purchase. It totally looks natural. They actually source from Nearly Naturals.
Wow.
So we have this amazing discount with Nearly Naturals. So I highly recommend ensuring that you have greenery in your home. Any of your rooms can use greenery. So definitely take a look at Nearly Naturals as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I zero greenery, like zero in any of my properties.
What?
That's another thing that I
We
should down add.
I think I need to take a look at some of these properties. And I think
Yeah, well,
nations because then we can see where the increase of bookings come in.
yeah, yeah, totally. And I think for me, like it like the problem, and I think this might be a lot of people, maybe not. My properties are fully booked right now. Like they like
Amazing.
I've never had an issue, knock on wood, with
Yeah.
getting my property built. So to me, that doesn't that just says to me, that doesn't mean I'm doing the best I could be doing, but it just means like, all right, I'm doing good. So why spend more money if I'm already getting booked? But I disagree with myself on that because number one, I could get higher
Yeah.
nightly rate, and then number two, it would probably give me more. So if I charge higher nightly rates, I'm gonna make more money. If I'm making more money, I'm gonna have more money to buy more properties. And if I can just have a phenomenal product, like I could probably also turn like right now when I'm looking at properties, I'm saying, okay, this property is gonna make this much money. If I could say, oh no, this property is gonna make even more money, I could potentially buy more properties
Wow.
that I wouldn't. So I disagree with myself. I totally think there's room to improve, even though I'm getting booked out now. I also think that I've seen is a lot of increased competition everywhere. So just because I've been booked out in the past does not mean that, and yeah, does not mean that there's going to be no more great competitors. There's going to only, I think, be better competitors coming in, which is going to make me level up. I shouldn't wait for the competitors. I should just jump in. So Jen, I appreciate it because that's good motivation for me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree with you though. I mean, I think sometimes it's hard too, when you're doing well and your properties are booked. I mean, yeah, it's hard to make some changes. And I think that it's always important to realize that there's always room for improvement, no matter what,
Totally.
you know?
Oh, totally.
And like you said, if you could raise your prices and if you could continue to build onto your portfolio, by all means, yeah. But
Right.
we're here to help in any way we can. And I also want to mention that like our team here at Host GPO is phenomenal. If you have any questions on anything, don't hesitate to reach out to us, whether it's, tracking an order, whether it's, a question in regards to short-term rental, anything like that. We're here to help because we want to make this process as easy as possible. And we want to ensure that we're setting our members up for success.
Totally. I appreciate that, Jen. And I did meet some of the team members at the conference. They were super, super nice. Like
Yeah.
really, really great. Even the CEO, Jeff, he was incredibly nice.
Yeah. Jeff's
And
amazing.
you've been incredibly helpful. So for everyone listening, go check out Host GPO. Right after this, I got some research to be doing on some of the brands you said. And I'm just excited, honestly, to my next property. I'm mark my words. I'm hoping. I mean, right now we're in May, and I'm doing a lot of traveling in June. So I'm hoping in July ish to get another property. I July or August is kind of what I'm aiming for, but stay tuned. Um, I'm not not yet ready to. I mean, my properties now, they're travel nurses mainly and
Yeah.
longer stays, so they're booked out until like August, September already.
Nice.
Anyways, but I could definitely take a look at least testing one of them, upgrading it, and seeing how.
Yeah, that's a really
Uh,
great idea. Yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
Well, I appreciate the help, Jen. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And guys, everyone, go check out Host GPO.
Thank you. Thank you so much.